So, you know, Smirk80.com, the homie from around the way, and I'm here with Nicolay and Phonte.
What's going on?
Chips Ahoy.
It's Chips Ahoy up in here.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's get right into it. The first question that I always ask is basically, in your own words, maybe the short Cliff Note version, how did you fall in love with music?
I would say for me, it probably started with just like cleaning up the house with my mom. She would just play records, and we would like sing and clean up. You know what I'm saying? You know, going to church. That was like, cause I hated church, and I was just like, man, if I got to be here, I got to find something that's good, and it was music. So, so it was, you know, I was like, well, I'll sing in the choir if I got to be here, so I just do that. Then Thriller came out. That was the first record I ever owned, and that was pretty much it. Like, it was from then on, I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, that was pretty much it for me.
It's just similar for me. Just my mom would always play a lot of records when I was a kid. Just anything that she would play, from just classical to jazz to rock to soul. I want to say like Prince was one of the first artists that were my artists. Like, wasn't my mom's or wasn't anybody else's. Like somebody that I really was liking. But yeah, as early on as a kid, just listening to records with the records that my mom used to play.
Word. So starting off when you were younger, some of the albums that you probably studied a lot, like you said, Thriller and Prince. Who else? Any other people? Like, if they want to, albums you suggest people study?
Wow, albums you suggest people study.
That you grew up to.
Mm-hmm. Man, I would say Nation of Millions, Takes a Nation of Millions by Public Enemy. That to me is just a study in how to create a feeling and how to create an entire mood and sustain it for a whole album, just in terms of making something just sounds just so fucking paranoid and dark and just like frenetic and just really, it's like, you know, you're on the inside of the mind of somebody that's losing their fucking mind, you know what I'm saying? That to me is just, you know, one of the greatest albums in any genre.
I'd say like one of the records that my mom always used to play, and I think it's an interesting suggestion, but my mom would always play Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants by Stevie Wonder, which is not his most
not a hit.
acclaimed at all. In fact, people kind of hate on it. But for me, it's like really one of the first records that truly made me just really get into Stevie Wonder, and it was mainly because of just his experimentation with synthesizer sounds and just his sounds in general. And that album was really just randomly one of the albums that I heard as a kid, like over and over and over, and that's definitely one that I think is a slept-on classic.
When I saw Leave It All Behind, the title suggested something to me. Mm-hmm. And I had to wonder myself, are Nicolay and Phonte, do they feel like hip-hop is not challenging anymore? You know what I mean? Because like the way that you do your verses, like I don't know if it's done that way, but it seems almost effortless, and the beats almost sound effortless. So it was kind of like, are they moving into this more complex structure because they feel like something is not challenging them enough artistically? Is that what happened, or do you think that that's just kind of just where it went?
For me, that was kind of where it went, just in terms of you know, wanting to do something more, you know what I'm saying? In terms of the record sounding, the rhyming sounding effortless, I thank you for that compliment. But it's always a challenge, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of hard work to make it sound that easy, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just, I've never been one of the dudes like, oh, yo, son, write a verse in 15 minutes, son. I just, yo, nigga, I just like, just the English student in me wouldn't allow that. Like, I'm always editing and rewriting and editing, and in my mind, just always finding a better way to say it. So it's not that rap was so much easy, quote unquote. It was just that with the music that Nick was making and kind of where I was at in my life, it just kind of felt like that was the next step for me, and that I had, in a lot of ways, kind of taken rap as far as I could take it. Not in terms of, you know, I always think there's a possibility of what someone else can do, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of what I had wanted to do with MCing, it just kind of to a point where it's like, well, you know, I've pretty much said a lot of what I want to say on this front, so, you know, let's just do something else.
I don't think that hip hop sort of lost a challenge for me, but I do in a lot of ways kind of have, you know, there have been times where I really kind of felt a bit of a disconnect with just some of the things that have been going in hip hop, but at the same time, I've never really claimed to just be a hip hop musician, you know what I'm saying? I think that our first album was definitely more hip hop oriented, but I've always done a lot of other stuff. I've always done a lot of dance stuff. I've always done a lot of, you know, kind of more instrumental. So for me, I think Leave It All Behind was just a kind of a, in a lot of ways, like just a very logical step. Not even a conscious decision to do anything like that, but just really kind of bringing in more elements of our influences, both of our influences, than even on the first one. And I think the third album that we're working on right now, you can see that even more, that we're just bringing in, you know, more different influences, more different styles, even from just stuff that we listen to, and kind of incorporate that into our, you know, sound.
Right.